Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today we're diving deep into a fascinating piece on the RAND crate in Rust and its surprisingly extensive dependency tree. It's titled, Fat RAND, How Many Lines Do You Need to Generate a Random Number? Let's get started.
I'm eager to hear this. The title itself is intriguing. Is it really that many lines of code just to generate a random number? Sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's a bit wild. The author points out how the RAND crate, even for a seemingly simple task, has ballooned in size and dependencies over time. He shows how a simple upgrade from version 0.8 to 0.9 dramatically increased the dependency tree. It's a great example of how seemingly small changes can have big ripple effects.
So what's the core issue? Is it just bloat? Or are there deeper problems?
It's a combination of factors. One is the platform dependencies. Getting a random number requires interacting with the operating system's random number generator. On Linux and Mac OS, it uses libc, while Windows uses heavier Microsoft crates. The irony, as the author notes, is that Rust's standard library already has mechanisms for this, but they aren't readily exposed. That's a missed opportunity, right?
Absolutely. A missed opportunity for simplification. So what are the alternatives? Is there a leaner way to generate random numbers in Rust?
The author suggests FastRand, a dependency-free crate that cleverly uses the standard library's hashmaps hasher for seeding. It's a hack, but it works. There's also GetRandom, which directly accesses the system's entropy source, a more straightforward approach. But the current RAND crate is far from that simplicity.
Right. And the dependency chain itself seems quite complex. How many different groups of maintainers are involved?
8, if I recall correctly. From core Rust components to external libraries like ZeroCopy from Google and others. It's a sprawling network. This makes auditing and maintenance a nightmare, doesn't it?
Definitely. And what about the code size? How much code are we talking about for this seemingly simple task?
After removing tests, the vendored code totals 29 crates, taking up 62 megabytes of disk space and a whopping 209,150 lines of code. A significant portion of that is due to the Windows-specific crates, but even on Unix systems, the dependencies are substantial. It's quite excessive, isn't it?
Excessive is an understatement. And the compile times must be affected too, right?
You bet. The author reports a 4.3-second compile time on a high-end machine. A year ago, it was under 2 seconds. The dependency chain, especially the derived macros, creates significant bottlenecks. It's a clear case of diminishing returns.
So what's the overall takeaway? Is the Rust community unconcerned about this?
The author mentions mixed reactions. Some argue that the reduction in unsafe code outweighs the increased complexity. Others believe that ZeroCopy will become ubiquitous, making this less of a concern. But I think the author makes a strong case for more mindful dependency management, especially in widely used crates like RAND. It's a crucial point for maintainability and security.
It seems like a call for a more streamlined approach, perhaps even incorporating some of these functionalities into the standard library. A good point to ponder.
Exactly. The author suggests that maybe Rust's standard library needs to be expanded to include functionalities like random number generation and terminal size detection. Or, at the very least, widely used crates should prioritize auditable dependency trees. It's a discussion worth having.
Absolutely. Thanks for breaking down this insightful article. It highlights important considerations for library design and dependency management in Rust.
My pleasure. And that's all the time we have for today's Tech Bytes and News. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.